not casting shade on the language or the translators, but often I will try to use words that are less familiar to kind of jar us out of a particular way of thinking, where we just kind of can spit out what we've memorized, to think more critically and more thoughtfully. So I think it's by grace that we're saved, through faith in Jesus Christ. I'm a good child of the Reformation. I didn't know you thought that I emphasized faithfulness over faith. I like both. And so, so full stop. We're saved by grace. God's previous activity, God is always previous. So we're at very best just responding to what he's already done. And then it's by trust and loyalty, an orientation towards a relational word. Not just we're taking the ticket that guarantees we get to get on the ride, but that God saves us by relationship, into relationship, for relationship. And that this is not based on anything we've done or haven't done. There's nothing that could earn it, and apparently, according to Paul, there's nothing really we can do to separate ourselves from God's love. So I don't know if that clarifies.
Can I say one thing real quick, Tom?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, thanks. I think I got that. Dusty, so just real quick, I think maybe the question behind the question that you're asking is also like, what is the doctrine of Imprint Church, if you will? And the reason I say that's the question behind the question is because we've made a commitment to have a doctrine at Imprint Church that is conservative, that sits a little more on the kind of just conservative, traditional, historical. Thank you, historic about everything from marriage between one man and one woman. That's a doctrinal part of. These are things that we believe in as a church community. Well, we've asked all our elders to sign off, and lead team to sign off and say, I believe in that, I hold to that. And if I change, Imprint Church is not going to change with me. Like if my view on human sexuality goes awry, these guys will be like, it has been wonderful to know you, brother. You need to find another church, or not a church at all. You should go do something else. Like that. So I think the question you're asking is, would there be a change of any kind of doctrinal policy at Imprint Church by whoever's preaching here at Imprint Kenmore? Because you might not just find Tom, you might find me, you might find Tom Regan. As part of our church family that we do this. We rotate sometimes between locations. And part of that is to create that one family model. All of us hold firm to the doctrine of Imprint Church. So those conversations are great. The Pistis conversations is a really good conversation. I could spend hours, and I've read two books on that too. So.
And I bet you Tom McGregor believes in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13 says, if we are faithless, he remains faithful. I have actually appreciated McGregor using the phrase believing allegiance, because one of my burdens in preaching is to help people understand that there must be a difference between the believer's faith and demonic belief. The James 1, sure, you say that there's one, you believe there's one God, good, even the demons do. Even the demons believe that and they shudder. The demons have orthodox theology about Jesus in the sense that they know who he is. The devil knows that he is the Son of God. The devil saw him rise from the dead. The devil knows who he is. What makes the devil's understanding about Jesus different from the believers? The devil is in rebellion against the Messiah. Believers are in submission to, in allegiance to. Now, does our allegiance waver? Sure. But on the whole, we have a loyalty to Jesus. We are following him in a way that is not the way that the devil believes in.
Well, and even... I should probably nuance this better, but, honestly, it's not our faith that saves us. It's Jesus. It's not the quality of your trust, it's not the quality of your allegiance that saves you, it's Jesus. And that's why it's by grace. It's not that you're saved by faith, it's that you're saved by grace through faith.
And the Lord gets to determine the quality of your faith and the legitimacy of your faith.
We can't anyway.
Yeah. So.
I've got a bad habit, I forgot it already.
It's a bad habit.
It's all good. Somebody told me that I'm 49, Somebody said when you turn 40, every time you walk through a doorway, it clears your memory. So that when you walk into the room, you don't know what you're standing there for. It happens to me a lot.
I like some further clarity, so, I forgot what I was gonna say. That's coming back.
Are you over 40?
So, yes, I am. Thank you. I don't look over 40. So, the reason that I was asking that question is because it's really important to know that, and I know you've answered this when Pastor Mark has talked to you about it, that it's not by works we're saved.
Yep.
You've stood upon that, and I've wrestled with the whole issue about that question I asked you, because if you translate that word faith in that verse as anything but faith, if you put faithfulness in there, it is for by grace is you're saved through faithfulness. All of a sudden it sounds like we're saved by works. And if you put trustworthiness, or not trustworthiness, loyalty, and that sounds like it's works too.
Nope.
So what I was going to ask you is, can you define your definition of like faithfulness or loyalty as it pertains to that verse?
Yeah, it's not you're saved by pistis, it's you're saved by grace. Right? So it doesn't, I mean, it does actually matter what you put in the pistis slot, but it's not the pistis that is saving you. Can we agree on that? It's grace?
I like that we're saved by faith.
We're not saved by faith, we're saved by grace.
Grace through faith.
I would die on that mountain. I would die on the mountain that we're saved by grace. And if we can agree on that, then we could parse pistis, I think.
But that's probably best for,
Yeah, I think that's
Let's
a
do an offline conversation.
much longer conversation.
Anyone else got questions or?
Well, I'll have another, I promise I won't say it, I can say it right. I think I've seen somewhere here that it'll be done by everything by the elders. So whatever happens, they do other stuff. And one of the things I'm saying, what I've done with other places, and even here, is when we have things happening that we want to do it, whether it's getting money out or any number of things happening, weddings, they talk about it first, and then it gets up and we say, do you want it, yes or no, and we're able to do that. And I heard it's just only elders that does it now, is that true?
We are an elder-led church, and the difference between that and what you have here as a congregational-led church is that we function based on the budget that's got approved by the elders. We present to the congregation every year at our family meeting. They go through it, they give us their thumbs up, we invite feedback all the way through. We invite feedback when we appoint elders as well as part of our process. We put an elder on the stage and say, hey, this is the elder we think has gone through the process. They hold to the qualifications of eldership in Scripture, 1 Peter 5, 1 Timothy, Titus. These are things that they hold to. And so you get 3 months to evaluate their lives and give us feedback and things like that. So there's a lot of, and then we do things like in our recent thing, we did a congregational vote, if you will, on a renovation that we're doing on our Bothell property. It's a $4 million renovation. We decided we're not going to make that decision as elders. We brought that before our congregation and said, you're voting by your dollars. And if you will pledge amount so that we get an X amount of money, then we trust that that's your vote and that's what is going to happen. And by God's grace, we've raised enough money to start our renovation project over at Imprint Bothell right now. So there are a lot of avenues for congregational feedback and congregational voting, but we do not do the thing where, hey, we're going to change the carpet downstairs and we want to know what color to do it or if we have to put the money for it, anything like that. The elders make decisions like that on a regular basis. And so the decision the congregation makes is the process before that of commissioning the elders into place to make the decisions like that. That's a fundamental difference between congregational run and elder run. I've been a part of both types of churches. This one, Imprint Church, runs as close to a congregational model without being a congregational model as we do, just because we have a flat leadership structure in the way we handle things, and because we're not allowed to make any decisions without kind of with each other in the process of that. So, but it would be a change. You definitely feel the change between being a congregational run where you're involved in the decisions. Our board makes decisions on who to give money to every year. We bring it to the congregation and they see that, but that's an elder team decision that gets put to the congregation. And so we always offer, we want people to talk to us. We don't sit behind a curtain pulling levers and pushing buttons like the Wizard of Oz. We are involved in the context of the church. We are involved in the life of the church. These guys, Chad, he always introduces himself as being a parking lot attendant before he tells people he's an elder, because he's out serving the parking lot regularly, and that's kind of it's an endearing thing. It's also humble to him. But so it is a little bit different, and that would take some getting used to. It's worth. We can talk more offline on how that does look in the future for us. But yeah.
But it sort of looks like, unless people have a lot of money to give it, they're really not important.
Oh, no.
No, I would disagree. I think we have a very, very different model of the way people are important in